Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Carson Corner podcast. Today we're talking about Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Terrence, Crawford, Lomachenko, but specifically Devin Haney. Devin Haney has been at the forefront of boxing news. Well, at least him, his father, and trying to find, in my humble opinion, that payday. Now, they've been calling out Tank. They've been calling out Teofimo Lopez. They've been calling out Terrence Crawford. And so I'm here to break down really what a fight would look like between Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford. Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. I really believe that when we look at it, Ryan Garcia, let me not forget, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. So let's look at it like this, ladies and gentlemen. Devin Haney is a very superior boxer. He's an individual that can move laterally. He can move in and out of situations. He has slightly above average anticipatory skills. He can get you with a combination of moves. But the one thing that I believe, well, there's two things that I believe that Devin Haney has going against him. I believe he has a suspect chin. And I also believe he has no power, no knockout power. And even going from 135 to 140, I don't think any power has carried with him. I think his skills have continued to immensely grow, because that's one thing you can never take for Devin Haney is that he has skills. Now, there's a big fight, I guess, supposed to be looming between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. And so let's compare the boxes. When it comes down to boxing skills, I believe Devin Haney has the edge in boxing skills. I believe Devin Haney would be able to successfully defend himself against Ryan Garcia. I believe he'll be able to stay out of the way for the most part from Ryan's left hook. But I believe Ryan has the power. He has the power. He has the edge in this matchup. I believe if Ryan catches Devin Haney, which isn't impossible. Devin Haney, again, remember what I said. Devin Haney has slightly above average anticipatory skills. And what I mean by that is the ability to see it before it happens, right? A lot of times, Devin gets hit with punches unnecessarily when he shouldn't. He stays there in the gap too long. When he throws, it's almost as if he's posing, he's waiting. And what I suggest is that he needs to really start to kind of shift after he throws a punch, take a slight step to the left or right. But he has a tendency to stand still. And in that moment of standing still, Ryan throws the left hook. Ryan can knock Devin Haney out. You know, I'll give it about 35% chance of Ryan knocking Devin Haney out. But I believe Devin has the superior boxing skills in this matchup. But that would be a fight that would definitely garnish pay-per-view numbers, definitely garnish attraction to a big fight, something that the fans would want to see. But I hesitantly give the edge to Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Now, let's move to Teofimo Lopez. I hear Devin Haney's father. One thing that you'll never hear me do is try to down a father-son relationship. I'm heavy on father-son relationships. So I just disagree with some of the things that his father has done. Now, getting back to the boxing of things. When you have Teofimo Lopez is a very underrated boxer. He has superior boxing skills. He has superior talent. I'm not just saying it. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see it in the ring, especially when you saw him at 135. The man has superior boxing skills, right? And he has power in both hands. He has a good chin. Teofimo Lopez has a very sturdy chin, ladies and gentlemen. I believe his chin is more sturdier than Devin Haney's. Now, if we had a fight between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, who would you give the win to? Let me break it down. Again, Devin Haney is not a slouch when it comes to boxing skills. So it's not where Teofimo can walk in there and immediately knock Devin Haney out. That's not going to happen. Teofimo is going to have to set Devin Haney up. Teofimo is going to have to do some feints. He's going to have to really do some good counterpunching in order to set Devin Haney up. Otherwise, he's in for a long night in a possible decision that he may lose going against Devin Haney. Devin Haney is a great boxer. I'm going to continue to emphasize this. But I believe, in my humble boxing opinion, that Teofimo Lopez is a more superior boxer, a more superior talented fighter than Devin Haney. Some of you may disagree. Some of you may feel as though, I'm talking out the side of my mouth, how have you. But here's my example. Here's my one example of both fighters fighting the same individual. Look at Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko. Prime Lomachenko. Lomachenko suffered a defeat at the hands of Teofimo Lopez. In the boxing community, there's no dispute when it comes to that fight that Teofimo Lopez won that fight. No dispute. It's a prime Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez took him the distance and won. He almost knocked Lomachenko out. If you go back and look at that fight, I believe about round 10 or 11, he caught him, but he couldn't finish him off. Now, look at a Lomachenko who left to fight in the war for his country. He came back and he fought Devin Haney. There are many boxing pundits. There are many boxing analysts. There are many fans who question whether or not Devin Haney beat Lomachenko. Let me be one of those doubters. I truly believe Lomachenko was cheated. I believe it either should have been a draw. Lomachenko won that fight. I was very disappointed to hear Andre Ward saying that Devin Haney won that fight. Politics is politics, in my opinion. I firmly disagree. I disagree with the decision. But when you go back and look at that fight, that's not prime Lomachenko. That's a Lomachenko who had wear and tear. That's a Lomachenko who went off to war, came back and trained to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney had fits. Lomachenko gave Devin Haney fits. Go back and look at the fight. He rocked Devin Haney. This is, again, let me remind you, this is not a prime Lomachenko. So you tell me if Teofimo Lopez is a more superior boxer than Devin Haney. Teo fought Lomo in Lomo's prime. Devin fought Lomo after Lomo's prime. So I am not just standing on some fandom. I'm telling you from a boxer's expertise that Teofimo Lopez is a more talented, a more skilled fighter than Devin Haney. And I believe that Teofimo would win in a decision, or he would knock Devin Haney out. Just keeping it real. Now, you may have seen in YouTube Devin Haney going up against, in verbal sparring against Terrence Crawford. Let me go ahead and alleviate you of any notion. Terrence Crawford would whoop Devin Haney's behind. There's no question, no subtle doubt. Any of you Devin Haney fans, look, you can argue until the air goes out of your lungs. Terrence Crawford would knock out Devin Haney. No if, no ands, No buts about it. It would be foolish for Devin Haney to go into a fight with Terrence Crawford. You saw what Terrence Crawford did to Errol Spence. And you can say, well, Devin Haney is a better boxer than Errol Spence. You can say whatever you want to say. Terrence Crawford is Terrence Crawford. At 147, Devin Haney will find himself on the floor. He will have a great payday. It'll be a pay-per-view that he'll make some good money off of, but he'll have a loss in his boxing stats. And I want to say this, and I thought I was going to go into more detail. I really don't have to. But for those who are boxing enthusiasts, the fight can start off with Devin being very cautious. Devin throwing a couple jabs, throwing a couple feints, getting a couple shots in. But one thing that even Sean Porter said by fighting Terrence Crawford is that Terrence analyzes during the fight. He looks, he watches. And so as the fighter is analyzing or trying to analyze Terrence Crawford, Crawford is also processing information at the same time and countering those processes of the other fighter. And so as great as Devin Haney is, as great as a boxer as he is, Crawford is a more superior boxer. He's a more superior talent. And he has definitely the edge in power in both hands over Devin Haney. And so this fight will end in knockout. Make no qualms about it, ladies and gentlemen. Make no issues. You can get the fans of Devin Haney saying I'm crazy, I don't know what I'm talking about, but the proof is in the pudding. Terrence Bud Crawford would knock out Devin Haney. Devin Haney, in this regard, I give him credit. He's smart. He's trying to drum up some stuff. So when a fight occurs, people want to see him fight. Give him credit for that. Use the Mayweather method. But at the end of the day, the reality is he probably will beat Ryan Garcia. He wouldn't beat Teofimo Lopez. And he daggone sure wouldn't beat Terrence Bud Crawford. Hey, all my subscribers out there, this is the Carson Corner Podcast. I love you guys. Keep pushing, keep hanging, and keep surviving. Carson Corner Podcast out. I'm real.